The law of life is the law of belief. Whatever you mentally accept and feel to be true will come to pass. Learn to believe in the workings of your subconscious mind, knowing that whatever you impress on your subconscious will be expressed subsequently in your experience. The way you really think and feel deep down in your heart governs all phases of your life. Believe in a good future and you shall have it. I believe that luck is a very good word if you put a T before it. The man who believes that luck controls his destiny is ever waiting for something to turn up. He lies in bed hoping that the postman will bring him news of a legacy or that he has won the Irish sweepstakes. The other man fashions, molds, and shapes his future by his attitude of mind. He knows that he is born to succeed and that he is equipped to be a winner. And with a busy pen or ringing hammer, he lays the foundation of a competence. He is industrious, zealous, and diligent in his work, and he whistles while he labors. The man who thinks about good luck or bad luck and so forth usually whines, whimpers, and complains. Luck relies on chance. Successful men rely on character, for character is destiny. Mark Twain said, "Fortune knocks at every man's door, but in a good many cases the man is in a neighborhood saloon and does not hear her." Man must be alert, alive, and on the qui vive. He must take advantage of the opportunities all around him. Man must not expect to be rewarded for indolence, apathy, or slothfulness. The aphorism, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he," sets forth and portrays all the experiences and conditions of man's life. Man is what he thinks all day long, and his character is the totality of his thinking. Cause and effect are as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. Man's joy and suffering are the reflections of his habitual thinking. Thus does a man garner the sweet and bitter experiences in his life. In order to experience good fortune, realize that you are the master of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions to life. You are the maker and shaper of your conditions, experiences, and events. Every thought felt as true or allowed to be accepted as true by your conscious mind takes root in your subconscious mind, blossoms sooner or later into act, and bears its own fruit of opportunity and experience. Good thoughts bring forth good fruit, bad thoughts harvest bad fruit. It is not a cruel fate that sends a man to jail or to the poorhouse, but it is the pathway of vicious, destructive, or criminal thinking which he has been secretly fostering in his heart. When these reached a point of saturation in his subconscious mind, they were precipitated into external experiences, fashioned after the image and the likeness of his negative thinking. Remember this one thing: a changed attitude changes everything. When you change your mind, you create a changed experience for yourself and others. It matters not whether the change was brought about by a religious belief or certain prayer techniques, or whether due to some ecclesiastical dogma. The main point is that an inner change of heart brought about a transformation in your personality, thereby creating a changed world. You will have a better world when you are a better person. The future is in your hands. Your future is your present thoughts grown up. You are a gardener, and if you sow in the garden of your mind wonderful seeds of harmony, health, peace, joy, wholeness, beauty, and prosperity, you will reap a glorious harvest. Ask yourself, what kind of mental transportation do I use? Do you go forth in the mood of love, faith, and confidence to your work every morning? This attitude would carry you to victory and triumph. You would find that all your ways are pleasantness, and all your paths are peace. A man told me that once a week he goes by jet to New York. He had ulcers, high blood pressure, and arthritis. He failed to realize that he was always traveling in his mind. He was journeying mentally with grudges, peeves, hostility, and hatred towards others, which generated destructive emotions in his deeper mind. Being negative, these negative emotions were expressed as bodily disease. He reversed his mental attitude and began to travel with wonderful spiritual companions. He affirmed frequently as follows: I travel under God's guidance. I take with me wherever I go God's love, peace, goodwill, joy, and beauty. These companions make straight, beautiful, joyous, and happy my way. I always travel the heavens above and the earth beneath, sending mental messengers of peace, poise, faith, confidence, and love wherever I go. With mine eyes stayed on God, there is no evil on my pathway. God's love saturates my entire being, and I am whole and perfect. This man has undergone a tremendous transformation and is well on the road to health, happiness, and inner peace. These truths which he affirmed gradually went down into his subconscious mind, where they made a deep impression and came forth as harmony, health, and peace. The truth never changes. It is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The truth is that which is true now and has always been true. It is absolutely true that you can change your future. Actually, you mold, fashion, and shape your own future by your habitual thinking and beliefs. A woman said to me one time that her future was in the hands of God, that God knew best, and that she had to take what happened and be resigned to it. All this is so much folderol and mismash. This is not true. Moses did not wait to see what happened. He saw what was to be done, and he decided to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. He acted on his own initiative and went forth with faith in God and succeeded. Joshua, of his own volition, called upon God to aid him. He took his people to the promised land. Paul, who persecuted a great number of people and who was instrumental in causing their death, decided to change and had an interior illumination, and many miracles were wrought by the hand of Paul. He said, forgetting the things that are behind, reaching forth to the things which are before, we press towards the mark for the prize. He was changed in the twinkling of an eye. I said to a man one time, if you run your business the way you are now running your mind, you will go bankrupt, because you are mentally bankrupt. I explained to him that his mind had to be productive in order for him to be prosperous and successful in the external sphere of life. I also told him how Mr. Schaeffer, a teacher of the laws of mind in New York, changed a derelict into a new man. He asked a man in the Bowery of New York if he wanted a job. The man said yes. This man was sleeping on the streets, ragged, disheveled, dirty, and was an inveterate alcoholic. Schaeffer took him home, had him take a bath, and have a haircut, shave, manicure. He bought him a suit of clothes, new shoes, overcoat, and hat, and evening clothes also. He then installed him as a greeter, an usher at his evening meetings. His instructions to this man were that he was to repeat for several hours every day, "I can do all things through this God power that strengtheneth me." This man became clean inside, a transformed man. The speaker knew this usher well. He was the essence of kindliness, sincerity, and integrity. He was full of sobriety and peace of mind. He transformed himself by the renewing of his mind. Anyone can change his future if he really wants to. Mr. Schaeffer explained to this man that as he consciously affirmed, "I can do all things through the God power which strengtheneth me," these truths would gradually sink into his subconscious mind by a process of osmosis. And the law of the subconscious being compulsive, he would be compelled to express harmony, health, and peace. Whereas before, he was compelled to express misery, suffering, and sickness. A woman told me that her husband was driving her to distraction. This man was nervous, high-strung, sensitive, jittery, volatile, and filled with inner conflicts. "How can I change?" he asked. I said to him, "If you do what I suggest, you will get results, and you will be changed." This was my spiritual prescription. God's love fills my mind and heart, and I think, speak, act, and respond from the standpoint of divine love. I told him to say it as often as he possibly could, particularly when he was prone to be angry, petulant, or crotchety with others. He continued to do this regularly and systematically. He made it a practice to think and speak and act from the standpoint of divine love when he was conducting conferences, dictating letters, and especially when talking to his wife and children. He was faithful to the instructions, and gradually his subconscious mind accepted these divine truths, and he became loving, kind, compassionate, and understanding. He became a transformed man by the renewing of his mind. This man now looks 30 years younger, and his wife said, "You wouldn't believe it. I can't begin to tell you what a tremendous change has come over my husband. He is now poised, serene, and calm. I heard him quote Paul the other day, 'None of these things moves me.' Nothing irritates him anymore." This is the power of prayer. What are you going to think and feel and plan for Monday when you go back to work after the weekend? Do you think that it's Blue Monday, that it will be very difficult, that you will have arguments and conflicts, that you can't get the work done? You have planned your future for Monday. Stop selling yourself down the river. The future is the present grown up. It's the invisible made visible. Change your present thoughts, and you change your destiny. Change your thoughts along godlike ways, and keep them changed. That's the secret. The way of seeds. Every seed you plant in the ground has its own mathematics and mechanics and method of fulfillment locked within it. Infinite intelligence is the life of the seed and knows how to bring forth the oak tree from the acorn. Likewise, your idea, plan, purpose, or desire is a seed. Follow the procedure of the infinite intelligence within you. Deposit your desire in your subconscious mind by claiming and feeling its reality now, and it will unfold after its kind. Your desire, invention, book, play, or the trip that you are thinking about in your mind are as real as your hand or heart, or any objective thing which you sense, touch, or taste. The idea you have now is a germ of a future event. Nourish it, sustain it, water it, fertilize it, like the seeds in your garden, with faith and joyous expectancy, and you will see it on the screen of space. This is a great truth. You were a child once. Undoubtedly, you were cosseted, coddled, loved, and received all kinds of attention. When you cried in the night, your parents got up and comforted you. You were king of the household. An inventor told me recently that he looked upon the idea which came into his mind as his child. He said, "It's my brainchild." I nourished it, coddled it, loved it, and gave it my attention and devotion. And I knew it would grow like a child unto a man, that is, manifestation. This is exactly what happened. I was instrumental in introducing him to the man who financed his invention, which is now very successful. Nourish that mental child of yours. You will experience the joy of the answered prayer, for it is written, "A little child shall lead them." The Bible says, "It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." In order to receive the kingdom of riches, health, and happiness, and peace, and abundance, you must act and ready your mind to receive. For all things be ready, if the mind be so. Is your mind ready? A waitress wanted to take a trip to Europe and the Far East. She did not have the money. She listened to my lectures on Sunday morning and said to herself, "The idea of a trip is the germinal possibility of something real. It is like the seed of an apple, which becomes an apple tree after I deposit it in the ground." She reasoned within her own mind that the idea of a trip was a reality of its own in her mind, even though she could not measure it in the way of length, breadth, and height, like you would measure an object in space, such as a table or a chair. She said to herself, "I accept this journey in my mind. It is as real in its own way as if I were on a plane." She accepted the reality of the trip in the unseen world of mind. It was no longer a vague, airy nothing or a pipe dream. She affirmed as follows, "I accept this trip in divine order. I welcome this idea in my mind, and I feel the joy and the wonder of it all." Her attitude of mind was the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. This is called faith. And Paul said, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not seen." In other words, that idea, desire of yours is as real as the table or the chair which you're sitting. The idea of a book is real. The idea of an invention is real. The idea of a play is real. The architect has an idea of a building in his mind before he ever draws the diagram on paper. Where is the building? Isn't it in his mind a beautiful building, or a low building, or a small building, as the case may be? Faith is believing in the possibility of the execution of the idea. Our great physical scientists have tremendous faith because they believe in the possibility of the execution of the idea which is in their mind. They keep on experimenting regularly, systematically, and faithfully until they bring it forth. They do not get disappointed. They keep on keeping on until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Each time they fail, they say they're near their goal, and they do not have to repeat the previous errors or mistakes. Now, this young lady attended a wedding, and at the reception, the hostess chatted with her. She happened to mention that she would like to tour Europe and the Orient, and her hostess said, "I have been looking for a congenial companion. You are an answer to my prayer." This waitress had an 8-month tour as this lady's companion and was paid handsomely for it. This waitress accepted what she had heard on Sunday mornings, that the thought of what you want is the thing itself, in the embryonic state, of course, not objectively, but true in principle, true in mind. The idea of a new book has been in my mind for several weeks. It is as real in my mind as when you will read it in book form.